How are we doing today?
Good.
Good, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic now that you're here. And the band, I hope I got the name right. Karu.
Karu.
Nice.
Yeah.
So maybe what we can start off by doing is just introducing yourselves and what you do in the band, or what you play in the band, and yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everybody. By the way, thanks for the invite, Matthew. Great to be here. I'm Kale. I play guitar and mainly compose and do the main ideas for the songs. One of the original dudes in the band, and yeah, that's pretty much my position in the band.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm Niko, the vocalist and producer of the band, and I pretty much shout in the microphone at live shows and then compose orchestra.
And also
Okay.
And mix, yeah.
And master.
And master.
Well, that's fantastic. And Niko was corresponding with me before the live stream, so it makes sense that you're the front man, singer / producer, because, well, I guess that's what those types of people end up doing. They're the ones that. Now, do you? Who else is in the band that might not be here? By the way,
we have another guitarist, Valtteri. He's the guy with the long blonde hair, and then we have a drummer, Jere. He has the long brown hair, and that's the band.
Okay, so yeah, I was snooping around on your Instagram account just to get an idea of your band and what you guys are about. From what I've seen, and of course you could correct me if I'm right or wrong. It seems like you guys are a very heavy band, heavy music. What I wouldn't begin to try to describe the sound, because there's so many different genres of styles of music today that you could really niche down into something specific. But if you were to explain like what your band sounded like, what would you describe it as?
Symphonic metal, pretty much. Symphonic death metal, I guess.
Okay.
That's like a pretty broad statement, but that's the best I can think of.
Yeah.
With some horror elements, I think. So that's too long of a
exactly
description of what it is, but yeah.
Symphonic death metal is pretty good.
And for people that may be watching this, of course, now or later, most people watch these streams after the fact. What part of the world are you in, or where would you say your band is based out of?
We're at Tampere, Finland. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So for people that are listening, Finnish, I can make it very simple, like a Finnish metal band. Of course, you already described it, but just to paint a picture, because there are so many very talented bands from Finland, but specifically when we're talking about the metal, death metal, melodic metal types of bands, Finland, from what I've been told and from what I've seen, is pretty much like the capital of metal, if you want to put it that way. Specifically, like Scandinavian Finnish metal bands. I mean, would you say that there's a lot of metal bands that you're able to do shows with here in Finland? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah. There's tons of great metal bands, like popular big bands and then small underground bands, and there's lots of great stuff in here.
Yeah, and what people need to realize is, if you're watching this from the US or from Canada or from South America or from Italy or wherever, you gotta understand that per capita, because Finland is a fairly small country, but per capita, I think there's the most metal bands in one country than compared to other countries. It's very populated with metal bands specifically, and Karu is one, and we're speaking with them. So Niko, or maybe this could be something that you could tell us about, but what made you decide to be the producer of the band if you're also the singer? Is there, like, have you gone to school for producing, or have you produced bands before, or is this like your first project that you're producing? I kind of wanted to get an idea of that.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Okay.
Originally, I was supposed just to play drums on Kale's solo material, which was Karu, and it sort of evolved from that. I played the drums for the first EP, and then we got the first mix for Desolation, and I wasn't happy with it, but I didn't know how to mix, so I just started, experimenting and trying stuff, and then I tried to growl and sing, and that was fucking horrible back then, but then it just evolved, and I kept doing it, and then I started composing orchestra, and that was like 5-6 years ago, and now we're here. That it just evolved over the years. That it came pretty naturally to me to just start doing everything. And Kale was like, "Okay, if you want to do it, I guess."
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's there's not just some people that whatever they touch, they can just make it happen. And I've been lucky to snatch a dude like that with me in this project. So Niko is a great like all-around guy. It's really not no joke to learn how to after being a drummer with the later years, like after you were 20 or something, to start a new instrument, guitar and bass, then some keyboard stuff, and then the mixing and mastering. And he's been able to, I think, master all those areas. And yeah, it's really nice. We have a very dynamic style of working together. I think I vomit ideas after ideas, and Niko has the vision and the brain to do songs with them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now that we've, of course, today we've made it through the COVID times, and what types of like playing shows have you guys been playing? Gigs recently, or between the time that COVID sort of ended until now? There's been a few, maybe one or two seasons that bands have been playing. I mean, have you guys been playing shows, or are you focusing more on studio stuff?
Both. Yeah, both. COVID didn't actually affect us so much. We started as a duo with this Karu, and we actually didn't. It wasn't obvious that we're gonna make a live group out of us, and that kind of happened in like 2 years ago or something, that we decided we have to make this 2 or 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
3 years ago.
2.
So yeah, we've been working on the Shadows like quite a long time, and just we've been doing shows like a past year or so about. So we're kind of just starting that business more. Yeah, I've been able to do some nice shows, Helsinki, Riihimäki, Tampere, some local shows, and yeah, it's been a blast. That's something we are definitely looking for in the future.
Yeah.
Any gigs in Tampere at all recently at all, or anything? Because I know that there's the triad. If anybody's familiar with Finland, it's like Helsinki, Tampere. I'm here in Turku, which we are starting to. There's a few places now that are back in the rhythm of having good bands. There's Nirvana. There's can't think of the other place. I know Apollo. There's actually a few places that are opened up for rock and metal bands. Like, do you find yourselves, playing the Triad, or do you ever go venture north, like Oulu or anything like that?
Currently, we're looking at the summer and the fall of this year for gigs, and trying to book our calendars full of shows for them. And in the summer, we'll be in Tampere at least, and we're looking at Northern Territory, Oulu, Ylivieska, but also Turku and eastern stuff like Kuopio and all everywhere where we can go. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, there if you break it down, there's actually quite a few places in Finland to play. You could do like 10, 15 shows spread out over a few weeks easily, because there is a lot of places. But do you find that do you want to really go hard into being a live band that eventually is going to be touring in Finland internationally, or is it something that you want to focus on recording more and putting stuff out on like YouTube and Spotify, because there's so many different routes, and some bands really love, they have to be a live band. It's just something that they need to do. They don't want to just sit at home or at the studio and make music and then just release it and maybe play a few shows here and there. Where do you fall in between those?
Well, I think the live I think that's huge part, and huge that's there's been kind of like an evolution that what we are aiming for. Of course, there's the musical aspect that we want to create and fulfill our artistic and visions, what we fulfill our musical needs, of course, like making albums and try to make great songs and all that. But the live thing is super nice. It's something to always look forward to, and I think everybody agrees that we will definitely want to step on it more in the future and see where we can go and tour. We are starting to have little plans and talk about next year, next summer already. Maybe something out of Finland, or we'll see what comes next. But that's something that we are looking forward to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's funny with live getting gigs. It could take some time, because a lot of people, especially now in the summertime, they're already most festivals are already booked. But there's always the occasional a band cancels, and then if you know somebody, they can get you in. But really, a lot of people that aren't in bands have to understand that it's not as easy as all right, cool, we want to play, our band wants to play some shows, we're going to book a show, maybe we'll do a show in a few weeks. It doesn't really work that way. It takes it's a proper 3-month advance to at least get the soonest gig, so it gives you time to promote, because these promoters, they're not just oh yeah, we can just bring. They're booked all the time, so it's not that easy. And by the way, kiitos paljon, koska sinä puhut tosi hyvin englanti. I understand very, very good English on text, koska minä puhun vähän suomea. Of course, I'm here in Finland, but I just said that I speak a little Finnish, and I really appreciate the boys for talking in English today. It's Alice Cooper guy is saying you guys should totally come to the UK. I got a number of venues you could play. UK, Sweden's right across, right next door. There's a lot of places, especially for metal. UK is great. Sweden, Germany. But let's talk about new stuff, new songs, new recordings. What do we got? Got anything that we can talk about?
Yeah. Well, the Hydra album is quite new.
Hang on 1 second. I will be right back. Put on the hold music for a moment.
So now is a good moment for everyone listening. You had some places at England and maybe Sweden hit us up, put some PMs. Let's see if we can make something happen. Yeah, we are up to it. All the help and contacts are very much appreciated. So yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know who it was that hit that idea up there. It's nice.
Please do, Alice Cooper guy. It would be pretty awesome to play a show in the UK.
Yeah.
I would say it would be fucking awesome. So
Yeah. That's great. Speaking of UK, there's only one band that's greatest, Iron Maiden, Up the Irons. Yes, if we get to UK, we will have to do something related to Iron Maiden. I don't know what it is, but that is a must. Let's see what happens.
Play the Trooper in the show cover. I can't
Oldie and goodie.
He likes Iron Maiden, I think.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Iron Maiden. Yeah. Easy business to make like 1 million albums, and everyone is great. I have a trooper flyer here of the poster of the wall.
Dun, 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 dun. He's back.
Welcome back.
So, as we were saying,
yeah, we took over the channel for a minute. Sorry about it.
Kale was rambling about Iron Maiden to the Alice Cooper guy.
Motorhead in Saxon, I see.
Oh yeah. Motorhead. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's not go there. Yeah. But I agree. Motorhead is actually great.
So it was new music, or maybe something that you can let us maybe sneak peek into, or whatever it is that you guys are working on currently.
Currently, well, we only do concept albums currently because that's pretty much what we want to do. We want these long, epic, new movie-like albums, and we already have the next album concept figured out, and we're currently writing songs and figuring out what the story is. But it's going to be influenced by Japanese music and this like Oriental style stuff, like for example Winter Sun or Whispered kind of stuff, but much darker. And that's we're planning to start recording songs during this year already, because we can't just sit around and do nothing. It comes so naturally to us to be composing and working on new stuff, so that we're pretty busy with it already.
Well, okay, that's interesting. So when you say concept album, what is your thoughts on releasing singles? Because today, you may or may not know, it seems like today a lot of music artists are they're just like, it's only singles for us. We only can release singles. We don't do albums. What are your thoughts on singles? Are they basically just to promote the album, or do you do singles, or would you want to do just singles, not an album?
Well, that's actually a theme that we're talking about in the band, and we just a minute ago before we started the stream, we were talking about it with Niko, and it's not an easy task, and there's not like a definite answer how to go about it. There's definitely plus sides to make singles and keep people interested and all the marketing value and whatnot. There's of course that side, And but this, on the other hand, we have visions with the album and how it should be, how it might be best. I don't know best, but there's of course there's like how we see the album could be listened and consumed as we see it best. There's that aspect, but of course everyone sees and hears and wants totally different things. So there's many aspects and ways that we have to think about. But I think there has to be like one or two singles. Anyway, as we did now, like 3 singles, I think, from the album, like pre-releases, kind of stuff. But like just singles, I don't think so.
Yeah,
They are too separate from each other.
yeah. I personally see a bit of a misalignment with doing concept albums and then releasing singles only. So maybe it's really not what we would do, because our albums are like composed and planned out to be like listened in one session, like the whole album. So it's supposed to take you on a journey, kind of like. So it's not really that cool for us to, like splice it up and then release it one at a time, so that people can enjoy the whole experience like it's supposed to.
But there's one option, of course, that we have actually kind of played with in our minds. Maybe do like a separate EP or something that can be like all the crazy ideas or old ideas that have been buried in the closets and maybe they are still worthy to make or something. That's an option, but let's see. It's really too early to say. I don't know.
Would you ever consider doing like a compilation with other bands for like a song or something like that? Has that ever been something on the table?
Yeah, for sure. At least vocalists, I personally really like many different vocal styles, and my own style is pretty limited. So we're currently already talking about asking some of our friends to sing on the next record, do some growling or clean vocals to really spice up the stuff. So that's at least something that we're looking at currently.
And we thought like female vocals maybe on the backing or something. That's not a recent talk, but some like a few years ago we played with the idea it would be like a cool thing to have like something female vocalist to add in the mix, but we'll see. But yeah, I do agree.
That's cool. That could add a lot of color depending on how you do it. And I really like the fact that there are bands today that still want to do albums, concept albums, or just albums. Because like I said earlier, a lot of music artists that I've been doing live streams with, they're all stuck on, just releasing singles, song by song, completely different than a concept album or an album. And I can see both sides of it, but maybe because I'm a bit older gentleman, I do tend to like albums, listening to an album all the way through. I mean, personally, that's what I like. But everybody has their own thing. And of course, if you do a concept album, anybody can listen to just one of the songs if they want to. They don't need to listen to the whole song, the whole album. But
yeah, that's so true.
And I also was, like I said, looking on your Instagram page, and like some of the band photos are very, very cool. Like there's one that stood out. It's like, I guess it's newer on your page. It's like a red. It's like red in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of the did you guys, was that like a set photo shoot that you did, or is that something that you guys did? Look like a professional photo shoot?
Yeah, we had a professional photo shoot earlier this year because we thought that we can either take it with our own phones and do it for free and it will look like shit, or we can pay a professional a couple of €100 to do it correctly, and we chose pay the professional, and we think it looks pretty cool.
Right. That's also another topic that, you know, most, or not most, but many music artists will take the route of, well, hey, we have cell phones, we have new iPhones, they look great, we can probably get away with taking photos with our iPhones or whatever. But I do find a different level of professionalism when a band does take the extra steps, maybe spends a little bit of money, which that's a whole other story, how bands are making money today. Maybe we can touch on that, but very difficult for bands to be making money today, although there are many ways to do it. And when a band shows that they're, you know, taking the initiative to present themselves in a professional manner, I think it helps people take them more seriously, and rightfully so. I mean, your band's making concept albums, and I mean, how obviously your thoughts are the same, but do you see other bands that are kind of doing the same thing, and or do you even pay attention to what other bands are doing, or are you really just focused on what Karu is doing? Is that kind of...
Of course, we follow other bands. I'm, of course, more focused on Karu than maybe the rest of the guys maybe are, because I'm 24/7 composing the stuff and mixing and doing ideas. But we really like to, you know, draw inspiration from like bigger bands, and then check out what other local bands are doing, you know, friends, and get ideas and try to support others.
Yeah.
So we follow pretty closely the local scenes here in Finland and try to, you know, interact and make new friends and stuff like that.
Yeah. Winter Sun is coming up with crazy release later this fall, and that's definitely something we're looking forward to. But music-wise, what to listen or what to consume day-to-day basis, it's mostly old stuff. There's nothing like crazy new mind-blowing stuff that I can recall like very recently. Still the old goodies are something that influence myself a lot. But yeah,
what about, like, speaking of like ways of making money today, which is a subject worth bringing up momentarily. Of course, you have your live performances, but when it comes to like recording songs and releasing albums, do you find that like the typical, like making T-shirts, like for fans of your band that really want to support you, and for good reason, because, you know, bands can't really exist without people that are super into them. Of course, you guys can still do it, but when you have like a core group of people that are like invested in consuming your material and listening and being touched by your music, whichever way it is, it's really important that those people support you by something as simple as listening to your songs on Spotify, or purchasing your vinyl or your album, buying your T-shirts. What other ways have you been looking into of ways for your fans to support you? Whether it, you know, also making a Twitch channel and doing, like, of course you're doing this live stream, which is fantastic, and that's also helping getting your band name out there. But like, what other ways are you guys thinking about for ways for fans to support?
Our first priority now is get the T-shirts ordered, up and running. Our goal is to have them before like July. Somewhere in June, have like people able to order shirts and hoodies. Because after every show we've played, there's been like an avalanche of people like, do you have t-shirts? And we just have to say that no, yeah, not yet. So that's been kind of bummer. So we're focusing on the t-shirts and hoodies currently. And I'm not really aware of any, well, we of course sell also CDs.
This is the Karu new Hydra album. This is the cover.
Okay. And those can be available, because what I'll do, in the description, I'll just send people to your Instagram page or whatever, because I'm sure from there you probably have links to wherever you can get all these things. So
yeah. So we're currently selling those CDs only by, send us a message and we'll tell you how we send those.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, but that's actually really, I actually think that's super cool, because the people that are watching this stream or the people that are listening to your band, like those people, like most likely care about your band or they're very interested in your band, and that's such a cool way to do it. Like send them a DM on Instagram, be like, hey, I'm interested in getting your CD. What should I do? And then you guys, and then it makes it more personal, because when you're at the level of, like, if you're Metallica, for example, it would be great to be Metallica, don't get me wrong, but nobody's sending them DMs saying, hey, where can I get your album? It's like, at that point, obviously you get it wherever you get it, but it's really cool for people that are really into a band to be able, like, before you guys get to the point where it's like there's too many DMs and you have like a manager and you have a social media manager and all that stuff. Right now, if you are interested in the band, send them a DM. Maybe they'll even send you something else as a bonus, just because you're like super cool when you're here, right now. And I think that shows a lot to the followers, that they can be like in contact with you. So that's actually a very cool way to do it. I love that method. Just DM the band.
Yeah, and I personally love it. I've been answering some of the people who have been ordering the CDs, and they've been like super nice and excited about the music. Well, of course, if they're paying for the music, they're excited about it. So it's really nice to talk with people at the shows or in the DMs who are interested in the band and want to support, and it's always so awesome to hear people liking.
I 100% agree with you. Of course, I'm also a musician, and I've been doing the same thing. Like when I go on tour, I have my little CDs that I bring with me, but then when I get back and there's people that are like, oh, I wanted to get that. Well, they're DMing me, and then what I do is I go to the mail, and like usually I'll send them the CD, but like I'll sign it and maybe I'll send them like a sticker or something extra. And it's like very personal for me and for them that we're connecting. And then guess what? Like they're always going to, be there for you. And it really helps to have people support. So definitely, if you're watching this, support the band. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but is there anything that, other than, you're trying to get some gigs in the summer and you're working on this album, is there anything else that you guys would like to say before we go? And for people that are watching, like any particular place that you would want somebody to follow you? Would you want them to follow you on Instagram, or would you want them to go to your YouTube page, or where would you want them to to keep up with the band?
Well, Instagram is like our primary information source, where people will can get updates about what we're doing. So that would be wise to follow if you want to get the t-shirts when we get them. So, and we post everything that we do on YouTube to Instagram so that people can find it and stuff. So Instagram is like the place to be if you want to follow what we do. Okay.
Yeah, and also just check out their music. Go to their Spotify or YouTube or wherever it is that you listen to music. And if you like their music, definitely let your friends know. share it with your friends. Even if it's like, even if you can make an Instagram story and be like, hey, I just checked out this band, and you share the link to their song to your friends, like super, super helpful. You would have no idea. But when fans are sharing your music to their friends, it really helps spread the word for your band. So that would be something that I would suggest if anybody is interested and you're into the band, definitely share a link with your friends. Like if you can't get their t-shirt or whatever, it's something that you can do. And I encourage everybody to do that. So yeah.
That's a huge help.
That's
yeah,
a huge
I
help.
think.
And everybody watching and catching us later, want to thank you for your time, and if you like our stuff, please go and leave a comment or thanks, and join our channels, and we will keep you touch and informed, and it's great. It's amazing that we can do this and improve ourselves and do great music, but it's one of the best things is to share with people and have fun at the gigs, and that's something we love very much.
Very cool. Yeah, and of course, if you guys are ever coming through Totoku or whatever, I would definitely love to come out and check it out. Um, and I will be keeping in touch with you guys, and maybe we could do this again. Especially when you have more updates or you have something about to come out, we can definitely do a little stream and try to promote that. And yeah, man, I really appreciate your time for coming out onto the stream today. And like I said, I'll put the information in the description, and we will also be putting this on YouTube, as I have a new YouTube
great.
channel called MM Radio. It's Music Media Radio, and I'm putting all my streams onto this channel with all these people like Andre Kisser from Sepultura and other people. So you guys will be up there as well. So yeah,
Right.
we're just trying to spread the word for music, and you guys are there. So I really appreciate the time today for coming on, and we will catch you on the next stream. So I like to say at the end of every stream, I'll see you on the next stream. Rock and roll. Say bye-bye.
Rock and roll.